Express a break 3 days worth of milk, and then
I
we'll
was
get you
going to say
absolutely
that's
trolling.
Yeah, I will have to pump and dump.
I mean, that's what Matt's done.
Can we just end this episode now? That was so happy.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm a 30-something with a 4-year-old stepdaughter and a newborn baby.
And I'm Daniel. I'm a 30-something, and I've had kids for a while, ranging from toddlers to teens.
Welcome to another episode of Romans of Dad Men. This week we've got something special. We've got a few special guests, and I do mean a few. Do the special guests want to say hello?
Hi.
Hi.
And obviously Matt, as always.
Robin is here, but she can't speak because she's 2 weeks old.
Newborn.
Yeah, she's 3 weeks old. She's also feeding quite frantically. Becky feels like a bit of a cow, but she's
Yeah, thanks.
as well.
So for the benefit of the listeners, the really high-pitched hi, the first one was Beck, and the second hi, some of you may know already, but that is Becky. Becky has already made a few appearances. So this week we're going to do a bit of a 4-way Christmas special post-Christmas when this goes out, so that's an absolute fuck up.
Well, it's the 28th. It's Christmas time, isn't it? So Merry Christmas to everyone.
Will it be the 28th?
No,
Yeah.
it will be. It won't. It'll be the 30th. But
Oh, will it? The 30th.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Lockdown or Happy New Not Lockdown.
On topic, I've actually just seen something that says that the dates have been leaked. So let's predict for the future that at this point, when this is going live, we're all in lockdown.
Yeah, I heard the 27th to the 28th.
Yeah, I've just seen is that it locks down on, or he's going to announce it on Boxing Day, and it's going to come into effect from the 27th.
Wow,
Okay.
that's a lot of notice, isn't
Yeah,
We'll see if that happens.
Lockdown, guys.
it? Yeah.
So, what have you guys been up to this week?
Well, we have had a bit of a different weekend. So Robin is at the time of recording 3 weeks old tomorrow. That means that we're not able to keep her in the car for a very long time, which means, sadly, we are unable to do any Christmas travelling this year. Becky's dad lives in Wales, so we're not going to be able to visit. So they came to us yesterday. So we had a bit of a Christmas already, I guess. We had Christmas really for Flossie and Robin.
Mini Christmas.
Bit of a buffet. I am food hungover. I don't even think that that's a thing, but it's definitely happened to me today.
I think that's called fat.
It's called too much salt from buffet food. But yeah, so today we've had a really, really chill day.
We literally stayed in bed till 4 o'clock.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's that.
we didn't do anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Could
we
there
watched
be
the
an
Christmas
announcement very soon following this very long lie-in?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, that's
No.
still a no-go area.
The pub is still closed.
So
Yeah.
was
Main closed throughout the lockdown.
that was going to be one of the running themes through today. I was going to throw in some questions for our special guests. One of those was, well, for both of you really, both for Becky and Beck. What are your thoughts on more children? Because we've discussed mine and Matt's. Matt wants a rugby team, and I'm smashing my balls with a pair of stones.
Matt's just smiling at me like an idiot now. This very expectant face. He knows the score at the moment. I'm like, it's a bit of a war zone down there. I don't know.
I'm happy to get back in the trenches.
Yeah. He's desperate to go there. But 3 kids, you're outnumbered. That's a lot, isn't it? And then I'm a bit like with the whole age gap thing. Like for me, 4 years between Florence and Robin is like the perfect amount. Florence can help out. She's still very hyperactive and quite difficult in general, but she can sort herself out with a drink, clean her own teeth, put herself to bed if needs be, although, you know, she always wants a story, etc., etc., but she can do that kind of stuff. Whereas if there's like 2 years between them, you've basically got 2 babies, but if we wait too long, Matt will be 40. And like, as of right at this moment, having a 3-week-old baby, I'm firmly in the know. But probably when she starts sleeping a bit more, maybe. I'm like probably on a 40%. I would have another one at the moment.
Ooh.
I think for us it's very early days, isn't it? Like we're just getting used to the fact that, you know, having a newborn is hard, it's constant, it's unforgiving. We don't want to be thinking too far into the future because all our attention has got to be on this little miracle at the minute.
Yeah.
I mean, you did say then that you'd be outnumbered, but you're definitely going to have height advantage if it came to a fight. And based off yesterday, Matt's definitely got the weight advantage. So I think you could take him.
It's just trying to imagine doing like having one in school, one in nursery, one at home, or things like that. I just think I don't know how I could cope. And then I'm very much like I always want to work full time. I love my job. So it's whether Matt would maybe go part time at work or something, because I think you get to the point with having that many kids, something needs to give. I don't think you can both do the 9 to 5 office life. I don't know.
Is that an option? Can I go part time, Beck? Will you go full time?
I know.
No.
Literally, I'm happy to retire at 40. That's fine by me. I'll go part time.
Do you know what? Genuinely, I would have loads of children if I knew I could go back to work full time after maternity, and that the other parent would go part time or even not work. Like, it's just I never want to be in the position where I'm not working. I know loads of mums are desperate for that, but I was really miserable on maternity leave with Florence first time. I just was desperate to go to get a job because I had her straight out of uni. I just felt really miserable being at home all the time. It feels a bit different this time because then I've got baby and school runs to do and stuff, so I'm not exactly bored.
And I'm here more or less all the
And
time as well.
Yeah, you're always bugging me from the next room. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To complete the picture, Beck, what are your thoughts?
I mean, she did mention that her ovaries were flooding her a little bit when she met Robin the other week.
Well, I have got a little surprise for you, Daniel. No, I think that boat has sailed now. There's such a big age gap between Callum. If we was to have a baby now, Callum's like 15, nearly 16. I don't think that's going to go down very well with him. I mean, I might look 18, but I'm not. And there's a funny story about that regarding my booster vaccine that I went for. I gave my name in and sat down, and the lady said, "Oh, right, okay, I can't seem to find you on the system." And she was typing on a computer, and she was like, "Can you just confirm your date of birth?" I told her my date of birth, and she said, "No wonder I can't find you. I'm looking in the 12 to 18 category."
Wow.
But yeah, apparently people think I'm younger than what I am, but I'm not. And for me, I think if we were to have had another one, we should have done it when Georgia was sort of 2, something like that. Now she's like 6. I'd be knocking on for 40. Nah, I think that ship has sailed. Unfortunately, as much as I love babies, much as I enjoyed pregnancy and the labour and having a newborn and all the bits in between, but we're happy as we are, a little family dynamic. We've got the dog, which is definitely keeps us on our toes, and she's like a newborn.
Can you hear that? That's the sound of me putting the stones down because I don't need to smash my nuts.
Just on the Vikings update as well, the last episode that we've just watched is about how they used to castrate someone back in the day by chewing the balls.
Yeah, they used to get,
Ouch.
You used to get men to tie them down, and then a woman would chew on the balls from the inside. It's like, well, no.
So maybe that's an option.
I was going to say, if you want to just make sure, Daniel, you got some string knocking about, you
Yeah.
can see what happens.
I don't like where this podcast is going. Something that you said, Becky, then, that actually did link to one of my questions.
I'm not chewing my balls. If that's what you're going to ask me.
Well, that's what he's
Not
going to
going
ask you later.
That's how they got in this place in the beginning.
It's true.
But one of my questions was going to be, how has this experience with Robin for you differed than what you went through with Flossie? And then Beck, how's your life changed pre and post Georgia? Becky, go on, you go first.
Straight in there. Well, obviously, as you said before, so Flossie has a different dad for anyone who just tunes into this episode. So it's obviously a different situation completely, live with somebody else and everything. And we hadn't been together very long, similar to me and Matt. Apparently, I'm great at just jumping straight in. But Yeah, I mean, I was at uni. It was a very different situation. So I very quickly had to grow up I went from being a second year who kind of got drunk all the time and was just kind of winging it and getting on with it, to being in my third year. I was working full time, writing a dissertation and heavily pregnant and having a baby, like due to have a baby straight after I finished. So I had a lot of growing up to do. When I had Florence, I think I was a little bit blindsided with like how much a little person can rely on you, but also how much they're like your best friend. So me and Flossie were always very, very close. But basically with Florence, it was always, what I'm trying to say was, it was just a lot of just me and her. So we were very kind of bonded straight away. And it was, yeah, I just felt like me and her kind of did a lot of it by ourselves. I don't feel like I ever struggled. Weirdly, looking back, I was very, very happy at the time. Whereas having Robin, I've actually found more difficult, even though I have a lot more support this time round. And with her being my second child, I kind of know what to do. I know how to breastfeed. I didn't know how to do that the first time. I know what she needs when she cries. But it's weird. I've been a lot more kind of emotional, and most days I've had a little cry and like felt like I've needed a lot more support with. But I think that's because of, as well, when you have more than one child, you feel like you have to split your time and your love a bit between them, especially when they're both very different in age and they need different things. I found that quite difficult. And I think Florence has found it difficult as well. Within a year and a half, she's gone from it being always just me and her to me, her, my fiance living with us, and a newborn baby. So it's like quite a lot to contend with. And I think Matt will agree with that.
She's definitely fighting for attention sometimes, isn't she?
Yeah. Like the mornings are hard. She's been getting up at 5:30, leaping into bed with us. She's desperate to cuddle me, desperate to cuddle the baby and wake her up. It's been quite hard in like just trying to balance my time, and I've just found the days are just going so quickly. Like, I can't believe it's been 3 weeks since she was born. It feels like it's been literally a couple of days. I don't even know what your question was now, because I've talked for so.
I suppose my question was probably more around the pregnancy and the birthing experience, but that is quite a good overview, really.
I found pregnancy a lot harder, but I found the birth a lot easier, as a quick summary. When I was pregnant the first time,
because it was so quick.
Anyway, she literally fell out of me. But like the first time round, it was found out I was pregnant, and just, I mean, I did, because I was young and at uni, I didn't tell my family for ages because I was scared to. So again, I was kind of on my own with it a lot of the time. And because I was working at the time and doing my degree, I just didn't even get a chance to think about it. To be honest, I wasn't very healthy. I was living off like energy drinks and Greg's sausage rolls, which now I know, like, you're not meant to have any caffeine. You're meant to, rest and get sleep. I used to get literally 2 hours sleep every night. You're meant to not lift heavy things. I was working in Greg's and I was lifting these trays that were like 30 kilograms of frozen pasties and stuff. So it's very different. This time I've been working from home through this pandemic, drinking little cups of tea and watching TV all day while I work. And it's just been so much more relaxed and nice. But my body has not liked being pregnant the second time at all. I've just whinged the entire way through it, which I know Matt has documented very well in the podcast. I've just been miserable through it. So as soon as I had the baby, I was just, I remember I said to you, like, literally the next day, oh, I'm so glad I'm not pregnant anymore. Yeah.
I find that interesting. And that's probably the exact opposite of advice. That you were far healthier this time round, but you found it far harder.
I think on reflection and on balance, it sounds like, obviously I didn't know you when you was in your 20s, but it sounded like
I'm in my 20s now.
You know what I mean? Like
5. I'm firmly in my 20s.
when you was 20, you were the first time.
Yeah.
But you almost didn't have time to think about it, whereas this time you've tried to do things the right time and made sure that you've had time to relax. But
that's it.
Because the way your brain works, you almost want to be busy all the time. And sometimes when we've had a conversation about sit down, relax, that's almost...
Yeah, I'm not very good at doing that.
Yeah.
I've always worn a Fitbit since I was like 18. I remember first time round, I used to clock 40,000 steps a day, every single day. I used to do the morning shift, so I used to get up at 4, start at 5, work till 12, and then went to uni in the afternoon, and then sat in the library till usually midnight every night doing my dissertation or essays or whatever. So it was like literally didn't get a minute to think about the fact that I was like 6 months pregnant and doing that. Whereas, like Matt said, this time I've just been working from home on the sofa, and every little niggle or back pain, I'm like, oh God, I hate being pregnant. Probably should have enjoyed it more. But no, I don't miss being pregnant at all. If anything, the newborn stage is hard, but I'd rather do this a million times than go through the 9 months of hellish pregnancy.
But what about you then? How do you feel your life has changed, both pre and post Georgia?
I can't imagine her not being it here now. She's like my little bestie. We're always together. But I've always worked with children. So I've always kind of had children around me. There was Callum before Georgia. So it's difficult really because I don't really feel like, there's been this baby being born and it's completely different because I always have kind of had a lot of children around me. I've got a few nephews, I've got a niece. Slightly going off topic, just going off what Becky was saying, my experience of pregnancy totally different. I do it for fun. I love being pregnant. No two pregnancies aren't the same. I just probably was lucky, but I just loved every second of it. I loved being pregnant. I even, not like in a sick way, but I actually enjoyed labour. Maybe not right at the end in the moment, but looking back, I just loved everything about it. But then again, like I said, I could have just had a very lucky experience. I know that not everybody has that experience. A lot of women don't enjoy pregnancy. I did. I just really loved it. And pre and post Georgia, obviously, it's just like having a little bestie, like a bit like Becky said with Florence.
I've got something to pick on what you first said.
Yeah.
The kids, that's fine. That's not going to happen. I think you're dead set on that. But just about the age gaps, I've come from a family where there's a big age gap in my brothers and sisters. It's 4 years between my brother and then 11 years between me and my sister. You've come from a similar kind of thing. You're the youngest, aren't you? Yeah. How did that affect you when you was growing up?
Honestly, my brothers are 9 and 10 years older than me, and I felt like an only child because if we were, say, going out for tea, my brothers would say I was 6, they were 16, 15. They'd be going out with the friends, they'd be going around the friends' houses. So I did a lot on my own with my mum and dad growing up. It wasn't very often that we did anything as a 5. Looking back on my childhood, like they were around, but thinking back to an age that I can remember, they were then late teens, which was good for my parents because they used to babysit me all the time. And that probably was the most time I spent with them when they were babysitting me, which I loved actually because I just wanted to be with them all the time. I don't think the feeling was mutual at them 17 and me 7. But yeah, I kind of felt like an only child. And I do wonder if Georgia sometimes feels that because Callum's 15, he doesn't always come to everything we go to. Like, for example, we took Georgia to a pantomime on Friday night. There's absolutely no way Callum would have wanted to come. I mean, I do think if we'd have said, come on, please, can you come? It'd really be nice if we went as a family. He would 100% have come.
Oh, no, he wouldn't.
Oh, yes, he would.
Hey, what was
Yeah, so I feel like she does experience that a little bit. And she absolutely adores Callum, and I know she would 1,000,000% love him to come to every single outing that we go on. Doesn't she, Daniel? She dotes on him, doesn't she?
Yeah.
So I do think she does have that similar experience, but also it's nice that we can give her our full attention when it is just us 3 going out, and Callum's really not fussed to be missing out on certain things. So it works in both ways really. But yeah, that for me, definitely I did do a lot, just me and my mum and dad. I did miss that family of 5 doing things as a group, but I got to spend different quality time with them, if that makes sense. And then, we sort of had family times at your usual occasions as well. But
I think that helps Georgia though. And so I'm an only child, as we all know, but
really, never guessed.
No, but I think Georgia's sort of got the best of both worlds because I think being that only child helps with that individuality and it makes you stand on your own 2 feet a little bit. But she's got the best of both worlds. Like you said, she spends a lot of time with me and you doing things with just us, but she does spend a lot of time with Callum as well. So she's got this big brother, but then also she's got dedicated time with us. So she has sort of got the best of both worlds, and I think she benefits from both really.
Yeah, and like me and my brothers now, we're so close. You wouldn't think there was a 10-year age gap, and as you get older, that gap does close, and you feel like that.
I mean, mathematically, it doesn't.
Well, you know what I mean. It doesn't feel as big as you get older.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're little, it no comment. When you're younger, it feels like such a massive amount of time in age between you both. But as you grow up, you tend to feel that there's not much of an age gap. And when Georgia gets older and Callum, I'm hoping that they'll feel like there's not, this 10-year gap between them either.
Yeah.
But they are very close. Like, Georgia smothers Callum. If he comes down, she's all over him. He comes downstairs for anything and she's all over him like a rash. And then he quickly retreats back to his room to get away from her.
I often joke that she's trying to get in his pocket.
Well, I see it as slightly different. So our Jess probably, spent a lot of time on her own. But she got a completely different childhood to what me and my brother got, I think. She was flying around the world, going on holidays and stuff like that. I don't think me and my brother got
you're saying we're
holiday.
dragged up.
Yeah. And I think my parents would say, like, they got older, they started getting money, they split up from one another. That instantly made, 2 Christmases, blah, 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 blah. So I would say that she definitely would say that she had a very different upbringing as well. Which is different with an age gap.
We had a chat the other day, didn't we, about, I said, it kind of just hit me the other day that because Flossie is with her dad 50% of the time, Robin is kind of going to be an only child 50% of the time. So is that a reason for us to have another kid?
Yes.
Well, Beck, you can help us raise it because I don't want to do that.
I'll happily help you raise the child.
Or you can be pregnant for me. You be surrogate, please.
Yeah,
hold on, what are we signing up to here? I've just got out of having another kid.
Like, I'd realised that because Flossie's here, 3 days 1 week, 4 days the next, or whatever. What I've always struggled with Florence is that because it was just me and her, she's always been a bit spoiled. I don't know how else to say it. I've not tried to spoil her, and I've never had the money to spoil her until Matt moved in, basically. I was always on one salary myself and everything. But she's been kind of spoiled with attention. It's always been me and her. What are you laughing at?
That's made me out to be some sort of sugar daddy.
No, I am the breadwinner. Let's just get this out.
You are now.
Yeah. Job, yeah. No, but she's always been kind of spoiled with attention, and it's been me and her, and she's always loved that. But I think she's now recently realised she can't have all my attention. That's been really hard on both of us. It's only literally last week that she let Matt do the school run. Matt's started being able to help with bath time since the baby was born because I've literally not been able to do it. But, for the last 4 years, it's been kind of all on me. And it does worry me that with another child, when Florence isn't there, is she going to be a little bit spoiled and a bit clingy? And, everyone loves Florence. She's lovely. But everyone who knows her will know she's a bit difficult. She's a bit of a difficult child. She's quite quirky. She's fussy with her food. She's fussy about everything. And I don't want another clingy, fussy child. So I'm like, do we just have another one? So at least this one's got a little friend to play with, and then we have less clinginess.
I guess on the back of that, you've also got to think is you don't want Flossie to be isolated
well, that's it. Then Flossie's outnumbered by kids that are half siblings, and then she feels less. It's just hard anyway, isn't it, with blended families? I think. If you've ever had that. Did Callum ever have any jealousy when Georgia was coming along, or?
If he did, he never showed it.
No, he was very good. He fed her. He'd give her a bottle. He'd hold her all the time. Really good, really. And still now, he likes to maintain that he's this cool 15-year-old. But he would do anything for her.
Yeah.
Good, in terms of jealous siblings, Georgia was actually jealous of me spending time or giving the dog any affection when we first got the dog. Because me and her have such a good bond, I wonder if we were to have had another child, how she would have coped with that, because she is quite, not jealous, but probably my fault when I wind her up with a dog and I'll be like, oh, my little baby, just to wind her up and see what she says. And she'll go, Mummy, I'm your baby. And I'm like, Georgia, I'm only joking. Or then I'll say to the dog, oh, my favourite girl. And she'll go, I thought I was your favourite girl. She can be like that sometimes, can't she, Daniel? Like, if me and Daniel was to give each other a kiss, she puts her hand in between us so that we can't give each other a kiss. And she says, what did she say? I'm going to break the spell or something. Or if I kiss Daniel, she'll then rip his face away from me and kiss her herself so that hers is the last kiss on him, not mine. And sometimes she'll do it to me. But do you remember when she went through that phase, Daniel, when she used to say to you about me, she's my wife? Do you remember?
You know what? I found myself arguing with her Like she was like 2 or 3, and then I had to sit myself down and think, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I arguing? I'm taller than her. I can just push her over. I'd never do that in public anyway. She would genuinely, she'd argue and she's like, no, she's my wife. I'm like, all right, she's not. She's your mummy. She went, yeah, but she's my wife as well. I went, she's not. She's my wife. I married her. She went, no, but she's my wife. I went, right, I don't think you quite understand how this works. You're a kid. No. You can't even get married, even if I allowed it until you're 16 to 18 anyway. So how have you got married at 2? And I'm trying to throw all these facts at her and argue with her. No common sense, no logic, just she's my wife.
You just can't argue with it, can you?
Not with Flossie. She's the same. Yeah.
I think I even got the marriage certificate out at one point to prove it, but she didn't decide.
Could just imagine it like crayons out all over there. Yeah.
Writing all over it. Yeah. Georgia was here.
Just take Danielle Parkinson out. Georgia Parkinson. See, she is my wife. Great. Okay, so while we've got 2 special guests on, let's loosely stick to the format, but the special guests are going to give us some answers. So this week, there's clearly no podmin, and there's not going to be any podmin for the next episode anyway, because the podmin checkers are here. So,
you know what, we should have had one of them buzzers, so when you said the wrong thing we could
bullshit. Well, I mean, you can just call bullshit anyway. So one of the things that we normally do is the Matt and Dan recommendation of the week. Do either of you have any recommendations? Could be food, wine, TV, films, anything.
We've been eating these things. They're actually well nice from Asda. Extra special. What are they even called? Irish cream liquor. I can't say that. Liqueur. I can't say that.
Can't.
They are so nice. Mince pies, but they've got Irish cream, like a filling in them as well.
Ooh.
Really good.
I don't really like mince pies.
Oh, these
are like Irish cream.
Only in hot chocolate.
They are really nice. I would recommend 2 boxes for £3. That's what I've been eating. But I've just been eating rubbish. Apart from that, do you know what I've started watching about 20 years after everybody else? I don't know if you've ever watched it, Beck. Vampire Diaries on Netflix.
No.
You've not watched it? It's not your kind of thing. I started watching it because I've watched literally everything on there. I've watched Gilmore Girls about 15 times. And I'm like, while I'm feeding this baby 93 times a day, I'm just... I need something to watch, something easy watching. I can have on the background, leave it on if I fall asleep and not really lose my place. And it's one of them American TV shows that has 28 episodes that are an hour long of each series, and there's 15 series to watch. So That's my thing this week. And it's quite good. I'm quite into it. I've watched 22 episodes in a week. So that's where I'm up to.
I like reality shit. So I love Selling Sunset on Netflix. If you've watched that.
No, I've never seen that. I need to watch it because everyone keeps telling me to watch it. I'm not really a reality person, I'm going to be honest. I get a bit annoyed with all like the people being really fakey. They just irritate me.
I mean, do you understand how you've just like defined the culture there, that you like it is not reality if it's fake? do we get that that's what these programs are not? We call them reality TV. They are not reality.
Can I just say, I've just remembered a really good recommendation. Something that I watched last weekend and burst into tears crying. The new Sex and the City, otherwise called And Just Like That.
Do you know, I've still not seen it and I really need to because I would like that. Do you know what? I've read the spoiler and I know why I read the spoiler. All I saw was someone like, something happens to someone and there's a Peloton bike involved. And I read this whole article on Peloton sales and shares have gone down 50% or whatever because of it. And I was just like, why did you have to ruin that for me? That was 2 days after it came out as well. It not even giving me a chance.
Well, I managed to avoid any spoilers, so it absolutely took me by complete surprise. And Daniel was in the same room as me. I was watching it. I had a headset on, and I all of a sudden at the end of episode 1 just went, followed by complete breakdown. And he looked up and he was like, "You okay?" And I was just crying my eyes out. It was so sad, but so good at the same time. And I think there's 3 episodes. I've seen 3 anyway. I don't know if the 4th one's out yet, but very much enjoyed that because I watched it way back in the day when it first came out. And it's nice to see most of the characters because some aren't in it.
Do you know what? This is one of these things that shows my age. I did not know that Sex and the City was a TV show before it was a film until like very. And then I watched it all, like the box sets from back in the day, and I was like, oh my god, this is so much better than the films.
I love it. It is so good. It's a bit like Friends. You can just watch any episode at any point.
Friends, but with more sex and exciting stuff happening. Like,
yes,
good,
very good.
Controversial, but I don't think any TV series has ever been made into a successful film. Because you said that then you watched the film, but then watched the TV series, and it's so much better.
Yeah, it's miles better.
In Between Us, the film was average. The TV series was comedy gold.
Yeah, but I don't think they knew they were never going to top the In Between Us TV series, did they? Like, that's going to go up there in like British Hall of Fame when aliens take over the world and everybody dies or whatever. Like whatever's going to happen to the planet in like 200 years, aliens are going to discover the In Between Us and be like, holy shit, this is amazing. Let's take it to the moon.
I've just got this image now of aliens just watching that on repeat in the ships going, ooh, alien friend.
Mates. Jay will be on the spaceship saying, all right, I was here.
Aliens, completed it, mate.
Yeah, I'm going to have a think and I'll bring it back at the end if I think of any.
Okay. While Becky's thinking, Beck, give me your parenting highs and lows of the week.
I might need to sort of combine them because they sort of both happened at the same time. If that's at all possible. Parenting high would be that, as you know, we took Georgia to a pantomime on Friday and it was really good.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, yes, it was. Very much enjoyed the innuendos there was a lot of those. Very, very funny.
So make people understand why the innuendos were funny. It was Dick Whittington.
Oh, right, okay.
So one of the characters comes on stage and he's like, oh yeah, I love Dick.
Was there any like D-list celebrities in there or?
No,
Wigan's
it was just
fine.
a local. Yeah, it was just a local theatre company. Just to see the look on her face was a picture. Her little face was lit up. She was dancing in a chair. She was loving life, weren't she, Daniel? She was just.
She was so zoned in.
No, don't
what?
spoil the law.
No, I said she was so zoned in. You literally, every time you look over at her, I kept nudging Beck and Beck was nudging me because she was just literally on the edge of her seat, just like joining in with all the songs and jumping up and down. She was proper committed to it.
Yeah, and also like she just looked so amazed by the whole. Because on the way there, she said, "Will it be on a screen and will it be in black and white?" I was like, "No, it's real people on a stage. It's a pantomime." She was like, "All right." So I don't know what a little expectation was in her head, but I think it surpassed her expectations. She really did thoroughly enjoy it. And at one point, Dick Whittington came off the stage and another character on the other side of the stage came off and they pulled her out to dance in the aisle. It was really, really nice. So that was a lovely high for me, definitely, just to see a little face. But also during the pantomime, said character that came out of all the weird and wonderful innuendos decided to reach in his bag and throw sweets out into the audience at pace, and one of which landed on Georgia's forehead, causing her to burst out into tears in the middle of the performance.
Yeah.
So I was frantically trying to console her because I was concerned for her, but mostly because I didn't want her to draw attention to us because I was scared that the dame was then going to start ad-libbing and throwing all sorts of comments and innuendos in our direction.
We were quite literally the centre seats as well.
And about 3 rows from the front.
Yeah, and bear in mind, this was a kid's panto. He put a lot of adult humour in there. Great. You would have thought, common sense approach, I know what, I'll throw these sweets, these hard-boiled sweets,
yeah, they weren't
into the crowd, underarm. No, motherfucker was full on.
Skimming them.
Like he was trying to hit the back of the room. No wonder she would cry.
It was like you know when you throw a pebble on a lake and you make it skip the top of the water. It was like doing that, and they were just bouncing off all these kids' heads. But it just was unfortunate that one smacked Georgia straight between eyes.
Oh.
So I did feel sorry for her, but also it was just one of them frantic parent moments where you just want the ground to swallow you up, because these 2 old dears in front of us then turned round and was saying, "Oh, is she all right?"
Oh, we hit her on head. Oh.
Yeah, so that was a bit of a low point.
I've got a good low low, unless you want to go.
No, what's your low?
About the school.
I don't know what you're on about, so go on, share.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Well, do you want to go first?
Oh, no, go on, that's funny, actually. Yeah, I've just realised, go on, yeah, do you... I wouldn't say this is a low, this made us laugh for ages.
Oh, it was a low point for me. Becky can think about a low point and a high point, but I've got a good low parenting moment. So, we had to... I went to pick up Flossie for the first time at school some point last week. Flossie's school is about a half an hour drive away from where we live. Robin was being particularly grumpy. She was very hungry. She wouldn't get off you, for want of a better word, would she? So we decided that I would go and pick her up. Flossie wasn't expecting me to come. So because she's at after school club, there's a button that you have to press to get through the gates. And before that you press the button, you have to say, I'm here to pick up Florence. Press the button, no answer. Press the button again, no answer. Press the button for a third time, still no answer. But someone came out of the gates because they just picked the kids up. So I just thought, well, I'm just going to walk through and I'll speak to someone at the front. I waited outside. I waited for someone to give me some notice. And they said, hey, you're here to pick up? I went, I'm here to pick up Florence, please. As this woman looked at me rather discerningly, as she's never seen me before in her life. So I waited another 5 minutes and another woman comes out and then she says, who are you here to pick up? So for the second time and for the second person, I'm like, yeah, I'm here to pick up Florence. I have just spoken to someone, but... So she looks at me with a funny look. At this point, I text Becky, I think the school think I'm going to kidnap Flossie because...
they won't give it to me.
Like, it's now been 10 minutes and I've been waiting outside. There's nobody else here. So anyway, about 5 minutes later, so I've been out here about 15 minutes now, a third teacher comes up with Florence this time, and the teacher comes in and she goes, oh, Florence was expecting her mum to come and pick her up today. And I said, oh, I'm really sorry. Mummy's at home with a baby. She's just been a bit upset. So Flossie looks at the teacher and says two words that a 4-year-old should never say to a 35-year-old man, which was baby daddy. She looked up at the teacher, and honestly, I knew the innocence in it and everything, but I just wanted the ground to swallow me up. That's how I've just been introduced to one of the teachers. Luckily, she was very nice about it, and she was like, "Oh, this is the baby's daddy," but. Yeah, then
so
I was
now
like
mummy, daddy, and baby daddy on Florence's list of approved people.
Oh, funny.
Yeah. At least you're approved.
It would have been worse if she was like, "Who are you? I'm not coming with you."
Part of me would have been expected her to do that, to be honest.
Yeah.
With you. But her
Baby
school
daddy.
did let a baby daddy come pick her up.
They weren't bothered.
I just had this vision of you just waiting around for another 10 minutes and that story escalating into the cops turning up at school and you having to explain to 3 policemen why you're trying to pick a kid up.
I thought they were going to do that at one because the way that the first one looked at me was like to say, this is not a usual person that comes and pick. Now I'm on the list, aren't I?
I have emailed the school to add him, but they've never seen you, have they? So they don't know who you are.
That's true. But they had seen me.
You would have been on a list if the cops had turned up.
Yeah.
For mine, my high of the week was probably yesterday. It was just a nice day. Saw my dad and his partner and their teenage, kind of adopted son. They came and that was really nice. We had a little fake Christmas, like Matt said. But I think the nice bit was afterwards when they'd left. It was the first time that I felt like we were in a bit of a, not even a routine because we were just sat around eating chocolate on a Saturday. But Florence, for once, wasn't being really hyper. We were watching this little film called Robin on Netflix, which is quite cute. I would recommend to watch with Georgia. It's quite a nice little half an hour, 40-minute kids film. And we were just sat around watching that. And then Florence and Matt did their favourite thing, which is just have a fist fight with each other. Flossie just walks up to Matt and looks at him with these big eyes and goes, Matt, fight. And just leaps on him. So they were play fighting. I was sat on the sofa feeding the baby and Robin actually had her eyes open and was looking around. And that was it was really nice. Everybody was getting on. Nobody was screaming for a change. I wasn't crying. Matt wasn't looking annoyed with the world. It was just nice that we were all kind of having a nice peaceful day.
I think that was going to be my parenting high as well because Flossie got some felt tips for like a Christmas present. She loves drawing. We couldn't find any paper, or paper wasn't interesting. So we I let Flossie.
I was going to say, whose great idea was it?
Flossie was wanted to become a tattoo artist for the day.
Nice.
So you can imagine where this went. Our arms, and including Flossie's, were just full of colouring. And actually, to be fair, they were quite cute pictures.
I mean,
that was like a high.
She drew a giant Christmas tree on me, which does look like a penis. Looks very phallic. But Matt's one was cute. You got a picture of the baby and a picture of Florence.
Yeah, and then Florence did a signature, which was the whole
of your arm.
Forearm.
Yeah.
But it was a good day. It was good.
It was a nice day. It was just nice to feel like everyone was getting on and there was no rush to get to school. My low is probably just the nights that have been hard with feeding, and this week's been better. Like last week, I think I was getting hit with all the post-pregnancy hormones, so like every single day I had a little cry, which for people that know me, I'm not really a kind of person that's particularly emotional. I don't really cry all the time or cry very much at all, but just most days it was like 3-4 o'clock. I was just getting to the point. I was like, I can't keep feeding the baby. I'm so tired. Everything's getting on top of me. But this week has been not quite as bad. But earlier in the week I had a couple of little cries. So I think that was probably my low, just coming to the end of the being hormonal. But I'm okay now. That bit is hard. I think people don't talk about that enough, how after you have the baby, you're just full of these emotions. And it's like you love this little person so much and you want to do the best for them. But also it's just exhausting, like feeding and whatever way you're doing it, whether you're up in the night making bottles every 2 hours or you're up feeding them and then trying to pump milk and then trying to change the nappy and trying to do everything. It's just hard. Like it's just so exhausting. And yeah, there's a lot of emotions and tears that come with that. And then finally feeling a bit normal again now, which is nice.
You know, that's never left me. I was not that emotional before being pregnant, and now I just cry at anything that's sad or happy. I can't even watch like an advert that's got a slight sad undertone. And I never used to be like that. And it's something that's never left me.
You've had children and it's softened your personality. That's what my mum says. I think it was my mum. Nan told me it softened you.
I cry at everything.
Soft after having Florence, but this baby has softened me.
I'm just an emotional wreck. I just cry at everything.
Were you crying about something on TV the other day?
Like I watched a One Born Every Minute the other day, and then the baby didn't cry when it was born, and then it did cry after like 30 seconds. When the baby cried, I was crying tears of relief at this 12-year-old episode of One Born Every Minute, as if it really this kid is a teenager now. But it's like things like that just get me now. I think it's especially when it's babies. You just emotional about it, aren't you?
Do you have a high and low, Daniel?
I weren't planning on this.
You don't get a complete day off. You do have to contribute a little bit, you know.
I've just hit record. The highs you've already made. You've stole it anyway. It's the Panto. Was definitely the high of the week. Not just for seeing Georgia.
To be fair, we had a ball.
Yeah, getting out of the house. And that Panto, that's my recommendation. If you can, go and watch it while it's on. If you can get tickets, if you're allowed to go. But,
I love a good Panto.
You don't.
Yay!
You're on it, you two, today with that.
Oh, no, we're not.
She's milking it.
No, that's better.
Yeah, so the Panto is definitely my high of the week. But that came at my low point of the week as well. Like, all last week has been building up and it's been busier and busier and busier for me with work. And I do find that I'm working more than I want to be or need to be or should be or whatever. And you miss out on that family time. So I was having a bad day. I suppose that sort of compacting, you get them feelings of I'm missing out on time with the family and stuff that's actually important. For that to then flip and have that complete emotional roller coaster on that day, I think the Panto was definitely what I needed. So that was like a high and low all at the same time for me.
Mm-hmm.
I've just thought of one that Matt definitely should have said as a parenting, potentially a low. We've managed to avoid this for like a year and a half, but for the first time, we don't have a lock on our bathroom door.
Okay.
So whenever I'm in the bathroom, whatever I'm doing in there, bath, toilet, brushing my teeth, Florence is there within seconds. She's like the little Grim Reaper, following me around the house, everywhere. Like to the point where
she's a Grim Reaper.
Yeah. Like if I'm having a shower, she'll wander into the bathroom and go, "Hi, Mummy, I'm going to sit on the toilet and watch you." I'm like, oh, God. And then she just makes comments. Like I got a comment the other day, "Mummy, now you've had the baby, why is your tummy still big?" I'm like, "Cheers, mate, thank you." Like, third time she said that to me now. But yeah, so she's there all the time. And if I'm taking the baby in there for any reason, she comes too. But she's never gone in when Matt's gone in. And I've always explained, if Matt's in the bathroom with the door closed, you don't go in. And then the other day, Matt comes downstairs and he said, "Well, it's happened. I just went having a wee," and Flossie just wanders into the bathroom. And what was she talking to you about? She was just having a full-on conversation, not phased at all.
You're going to have to excuse the irony here. She had a long party hat, a massive party hat, which she turned upside down and she was calling her trumpet. And she walked into the bathroom and said, "Look, I found the trumpet."
That's nice, leave me alone.
Yeah. I was like, get out. But unfortunately, Florence doesn't listen to me at the best of times.
She was just wandering about, so you were just
strategically
hide yourself.
Yeah.
I think you did an all right job. She didn't come downstairs and say she was scarred for life or anything, but it's happened now.
Yeah.
So it's going to happen again. Get used to it.
All barriers have now.
That's the final one, I think, is down now.
Dan, you just picked up on something there, which I hate to get serious a little bit. I know this is but this is something that me and Becky have talked about for 6 months really. And when you were talking about work and how work was getting too much, and one of the reasons I've changed jobs is that I don't want to miss out on, like the little things and growing up and working in my previous job. As much as I loved it, I would be up starting 12, 13, 14 hour shifts, and these times that I've said to Becky, "I'm not going to be home tonight because I have to work," and I'd be 36 hours out the door.
That's it. You've done back-to-back days at work, plus a night as well, and weekends on call and stuff.
Yeah.
Every Christmas you worked and stuff.
But there are genuinely times when I've rang you up and said that I'm not going to be home tonight.
Yeah.
You want to be there to do the little things as well, don't you?
I think the thing is as well, many people say, "Oh, they're not young, 5 minutes, they grow up so fast," but I don't think you realise until it happens.
No, I was like that.
How fast?
With Florence, I was always like, "Oh, she's going to be 3 months soon. It'll get easier. She'll be 6 months. It'll get easier." And then suddenly she's 4.5 and she doesn't need me to spoon feed her or make her purees. And I'm like, oh, I miss that.
Yeah.
So this time I think it's so nice to be able to, Matt's working from home and he is working. He works really hard, but it's nice to be able to go, "Oh, have a 20-minute break and we'll go for a walk," or he can just hold the baby for me while I make a cup of tea, and that helps me a lot. But also it's nice that he's not missing out because this time is so precious, really.
Yeah. The Christmas thing, like George is 6, she's very savvy, very inquisitive. There's that fear of how long will it be magical for her.
How long's the magic going to be there for?
Yeah, we took her to Lapland when she was 3, and that was fantastic. In hindsight, I think she'd have got so much more out of it going at this age. And we wouldn't go in October when I'm off because it's too early. Yeah. But we've been talking about this with friends at work, with children of all different ages, and they just grow up so fast. And all this magic, this Christmas magic, it's so lovely. And you just got to treasure every single minute, but every single Christmas that the magic is alive, because I fear for how many more years of Christmas we've got with Georgia having all this, magic surrounding it, just because of how beyond her years she is, Yeah. So you've just got to cherish every single moment.
Flossie's definitely at that age now where she loves it. She wakes up every morning to see where the elf is.
Yeah, you're in charge of the elf, aren't you? Because that's just one thing I can't deal with at the moment is the elf. The other day the elf did a Nutella poo on the sink. That was fun. Oh.
That wasn't Nutella.
I think I speak for Georgia that her low of the week will have been down to our elf.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Our loving elf called Comet got up to some mischief in the night. Georgia woke up to be met on the landing with a little hand mirror, and Comet was sat holding a few of Georgia's felt tip pens. And unfortunately, Comet had basically been playing the game you and Flossie were playing yesterday, but on her face.
Oh, we should do that.
Oh, really?
Like that.
That's amazing.
She had a mustache, she had ha 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 written on her head, and a little holly and berries on her cheek.
Yep.
She was not impressed.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Really?
Yeah,
Are you happy to do that?
I'll do it. I mean, these pens don't seem to come off. It's the only thing getting it off of school.
That's it. They're not at school now, so you can kind of get away with it a little bit. We was hoping that Comet would do it on a non-school day. Unfortunately, he did do it on the weekend, so we had a bit longer to scrub off the pen. Yeah, she wasn't happy, was she, Daniel?
No, she's still got a mustache now. All right. Well, on that note, then, we'll like to thank our lovely guests for making a rare appearance.
Thank you for having us.
It's been good. I think it's been a change of pace. I've enjoyed it, and I think it gives me a break of actually talking. So we'll definitely be having you back.
Let's have you back.
Do you know what? Can we just do a shout out to the baby, because she's literally slept through the whole thing, which never happens. Like,
I'm going to put that down to my soothing tones.
Yeah, I think she likes it. So
another fan for Daniel.
She'd subscribe.
Yeah, she says, no, shut up, Dad. You're embarrassing. Go away.
Yeah.
Shut up, baby daddy.
Yeah, baby daddy. That's what you are.
Yeah. But yeah, so maybe next time you could do Say It or Shut It.
I'll be up for it.
Yes.
There's a January special
New
Year episode.
I'll do that. We need small shots, though. Like, my alcohol tolerance is way down. I had a small glass of champagne yesterday and my eyes were crossed. I was like, oh.
Well, I mean, that could make the answers even more interesting.
That's true.
It's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I just have no filter though after I have a drink at the best of times. So, especially after 9 months of not drinking, I'm going to be just on the floor. But okay, fine, whatever.
Espresso break 3 days worth of milk and then
I was
get you
going to say
absolutely
that's
trolling.
Yeah, I'll have to pump and dump.
I mean, that's what Matt's done. Oh.
Can we just end this episode now? I'm so happy.
Well,
I'm just
give it
laughing.
a second.
It's the pump and dump comment that got me.
It was more than one pump.
Just go on.
We'll find out on that, on the Say It or Shut It part 2.
Oh, God, I'm so going to embarrass you.
That's
Yeah,
what she
can't
said
wait.
during conception. Just go on.
Hurry up.
Just hurry up.
Get it over.
So, thank you for everyone that's been on this journey with us for the last 5 months. We're episode 20. Me and Dad have really enjoyed doing this. We've had lots of feedback, lots of positive feedback, and throughout the festive period, we hope that you get to see your family. We hope that you have an amazing time. We are going to take a break for a week or so. We'll be back in January for season 2.
From my side, it's just a big thank you for everyone through 2021 for listening. It's worthwhile knowing that when we're actually making this content, that people actually do want to listen to it. So that spurs us on. We'll continue this through 2022 and beyond. And as Matt said, we'll be off for a week, but we'll be back straight after that with season 2, and we'll hopefully have a lot more funny moments for you through 2022 and beyond.
So yeah, see you then.
Goodbye. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.